Join me as I take on the challenge of going back home again after so many years. Can I handle the nostalgia? Going back home is a concept that's so deeply ingrained in our minds, and yet, it's often shrouded in uncertainty. For some, it's a nostalgic paradise where memories of childhood and adolescence come flooding back, while for others, it's a daunting task that sparks anxiety and self-doubt. But what makes going back home so significant in our personal growth and nostalgia? Well, that's precisely what we're going to explore today. One of the biggest challenges people face when returning home is the inevitable changes in relationships. You might go back expecting things to be the same, but people move on, and dynamics shift. It's like trying to fit into an old pair of jeans that no longer fit quite right. You might struggle to reconcile the past with the present, and it's unnerving to confront the fact that some relationships have taken on new forms or even fizzled out. Another hurdle is dealing with feelings of disconnection. You might feel like a stranger in your own hometown, and that's a really tough pill to swallow. For instance, I went back to my childhood neighborhood recently, and I was struck by how foreign it felt. I couldn't shake off the feeling that I no longer belonged there. Then there's the issue of unmet expectations. You might have idealized your hometown in your mind, only to find that reality doesn't live up to your fantasies. It's like when you're looking forward to that favorite childhood meal, only to find that the recipe has changed, and it's just not the same. Lastly, there's the pressure to conform to old patterns and habits. You might find yourself slipping back into old routines, and that can be stifling, especially if you've grown and changed as a person. I've had friends who've returned home after years abroad and struggled to adjust to the slower pace of life. They felt like outsiders, unable to relate to their old friends who had stayed behind. On the other hand, I've also heard stories of people who've gone back and felt an overwhelming sense of comfort and belonging. They'd rediscovered old haunts, reconnected with loved ones, and even stumbled upon new hidden gems in their hometown. For me, one of the most surreal experiences was going back to my childhood school and seeing my own name etched on the honors board. It was a poignant reminder of how far I'd come, and yet, how rooted I still was in that place. Another friend of mine went back to her hometown and was surprised by how small it felt after living in a big city. She realized that she'd outgrown the place, but it was still an important part of her identity. I've also had people share with me their experiences of going back to their hometowns after a prolonged absence, only to find that their parents had moved or passed away. It's a harsh reminder that time keeps moving, and the concept of home is constantly evolving. But what's the significance of going back home, really? Is it just about nostalgia, or is there something more profound at play? For me, going back home has been a journey of self-discovery. It's forced me to confront the person I used to be, the person I've become, and the person I'm still striving to be. It's made me realize that home isn't just a physical place, it's a state of mind. It's where your heart is, and it's where you feel a deep sense of belonging. Going back home has taught me to appreciate the beauty of impermanence and the importance of embracing change. It's shown me that growth and evolution are essential, but so is honoring your roots. In essence, going back home is a complex, messy, and beautiful experience. It's a journey that's full of contradictions, but it's one that's essential for our personal growth and self-awareness. So, if you're considering going back home, I urge you to take the leap of faith. It might be uncomfortable, but it'll be worth it. If you've got a story to share about going back home, please do drop it in the comments below. And if you're interested in exploring more personal journeys, be sure to check out my other video on overcoming fear and self-doubt. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.